The moment he raised his eyes in the market pit, the world seemed to stop breathing, because 3 alien girls were hanging upside down in silence, bruised and trembling, and the crowd was cheering like it was a game. And he felt the old pain crawl up his spine before he even knew why. He was a broken man long before this day, thin from hunger, scarred from wars nobody remembered, and invisible to a society that had decided humans like him were finished, cursed leftovers from a lost expansion. He had once worn a uniform, once believed in orders and flags, but betrayal had burned that out of him when his unit was abandoned on a dead moon, left to rot while alien allies signed treaties and smiled. He survived only by crawling, bleeding, and begging through the dark, and when he returned, nobody wanted him, not the generals, not the civilians, not even his own kind. Now he worked small jobs in alien cities, hauling waste, fixing broken machines, saving credits coin by coin, never looking up, never hoping. The market was not a place for mercy. It was a place where lives were weighed and sold. The auction master laughed as bidders shouted prices, and soldiers stood with rifles ready, bored and cruel. The 3 alien girls were different species, but shared the same fear, their eyes wide, their restraints cutting into skin already marked by abuse. He told himself to walk away. He had learned that caring was dangerous. He had learned that stopping meant dying. But when the light shifted and one of them turned slightly, he saw it. A tattoo, simple lines. A human symbol, old, faded, burned into alien skin. His breath caught like a knife in his chest. That mark had once glowed blue in the dark, had once dragged him out of the void when his suit failed and his blood froze. He remembered screaming into space, alone, fading, until alien hands had pulled him into warmth. He remembered waking in a hidden ship, tended by strangers who risked everything to save a human soldier the galaxy had already written off. And before they vanished, before soldiers came hunting, one of them had pressed that symbol into his wrist and told him in broken human words that life was a bond, not a trade. He never saw them again. Until now. The crowd noise blurred. His hands shook. He was weak. He was nobody. He had no weapon, no power, no allies. But the past had found him, hanging upside down and bleeding. The auction master shouted for higher bids. A noble from a nearby system sneered and raised the price, calling the girls exotic, disposable. The soldiers laughed. Something inside the man broke open. He stepped forward before fear could stop him. His voice cracked but carried. He said stop. People turned. Some mocked him. A human in rags daring to speak. He said he would buy them. Laughter exploded. He emptied everything he had, credits earned through years of quiet suffering. Survival money meant to keep him alive one more month. It was not enough. The noble smiled and doubled the offer. Guards moved closer. The man felt the familiar weight of abandonment pressing down again. He knew this feeling. This was how it always ended. Alone, failing. But the tattooed girl met his eyes, and something passed between them. Recognition, fear, and a fragile hope that should not exist in a place like this. He stepped closer, ignoring the rifles. He pulled back his sleeve and showed his own scar, the burned echo of the same symbol. Murmurs rippled. The auction master hesitated. The noble frowned. The soldiers shifted. The man spoke again, softer now, telling the story of a human left to die, of alien hands that chose compassion over orders, of a debt that could not be measured in credits. The noble scoffed and ordered the guards to end it. Rifles rose. Time slowed. The man knew he would not survive this, but he stood still. He accepted it. He had been dying since the moon anyway. The first shot hit him in the shoulder. Pain exploded. He fell but did not scream. The crowd scattered. Chaos broke loose. And then the tattoo on the girl's skin began to glow. Blue light spread, pulsing like a heartbeat. The chains snapped. Energy surged. The market floor cracked. The soldiers shouted in fear as hidden technology awakened, ancient and forbidden. The girls were not helpless cargo. They were guardians, hiding, hunted, bound by rules that forbade interference until the bond was acknowledged. The tattoo was a vow, a promise across species. The girl dropped to the ground and caught the man as he collapsed, her hands steady, gentle, just like he remembered. The other two stood tall now, eyes burning with power held back for too long. The noble tried to flee. He did not make it far. The soldiers ran. The crowd watched in stunned silence as the truth unfolded, that humanity was not forgotten, that bonds mattered, that mercy could echo across stars. The man drifted in and out of consciousness as the girl pressed her forehead to his, whispering that the debt was paid, that he was never alone, that survival was not shame. When he woke, the city was quiet, the market empty, the sky wide and open. His wound was healed. The girl stood beside him, no longer bound, no longer afraid. He was still weak, still scarred, still human. But for the first time, he belonged to something that chose him back. And as they walked away from the place where lives were sold, the galaxy shifted, just a little, because hope had survived where it was never meant to. And humanity, broken and bleeding, had been seen, remembered, and answered.